Hey, today I wanted to try something a bit different because me myself, I was trying to look for things on the PTR about the PTR rotation, some kind of gameplay, and it's kind of hard to come by. So I made myself an account on the PTR, and I've like logged over and tried a few builds. Right now, I'm in Arcane Spec. This is how it is on the PTR. This is kind of what I was thinking for M+, kind of ignore this on the left-hand side, that's kind of whatever, but I feel that mass barrier is just going to be really strong in high-end keys, more so than mass invisibility. But you never know, this could be good in some dungeons. Looking at this here, this is kind of like my best guess at what the M+ build will look like. I don't think you'll play Gem because I feel like Harmonic Echo is really strong. And Orb Barrage just seems insane in M+. I personally have like really high... I think Arcane can be really good in keys. To be honest, at least for me, when I'm testing on the PTR, it seems to do a lot of damage on 5 targets, let's just say that. It also has like pretty good funnel damage as well, and prio damage if you want. Like, you know, you can obviously just single target a mob. But yeah, so this is the build I'm running, and I'll just kind of show you a bit of gameplay. So I go 2 charges here in case my Orb Barrage procs. Like, and just, you get so many procs, it's kind of insane. You'll have to excuse my weak auras. They're not really working, so... And I kind of had to disable them. See, because you've got to be careful in case of procs. Yeah, it's a bit laggy on the PTR for me, but like I was just thinking something like this. I honestly don't know if Nether Tempest is a gain or not. I just kind of pressing it out of habit. But like when you get some of these Orb Barrage procs, it feels super fun. At least I think, like it's just cool, and then obviously yeah, like it does a crap ton of damage. And then obviously you would start your rotation again, and that's like a full cycle through. So that's like 33 mil. So this is a minute and a half on AOE, and I've stopped obviously at like the weakest point, right before your cooldowns come up, and it's doing 388k, which, I don't know, that seems like a lot of damage to me. Yeah, so I'll switch over to fire, give a bit of comparison. So, the fire, this is kind of my best guess for what you would run in M+. I feel like Living Bomb's going to be good once you get to a certain target count. But I've found... I can show you the damage breakdown after, but I feel like for 1 point, Incendiary Eruptions it seems to do around 6% of my damage on 5 targets, so that seems quite good. What I don't like about fire at the moment is definitely that your single target seems a bit lacking. At least in this build, obviously, like you don't have controlled destruction. You're not running hypothermia. So you've also got all these points here. Like I feel like if you wanted more single target, maybe you could drop this. But I mean, a 6% loss to AoE, approximately. This conflagration seems to do about 3 to 4%. But look, I'll just show you now what a bit of gameplay looks like. So, this looks like this. And as you can see, my Phoenix. Okay, so that you're not actually meant to do that because you're. Sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate. It's a bit laggy. But yeah, so if you have a flame strike proc, like sorry, a hot streak proc, and you would do what you would normally do on single target, like back on I guess on live right now, you could cast another one while you're like, it's obviously doing a single target build. It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, but basically it's hard to, like, it'll proc munch is what I'm saying. So, and you could fire off 2 pyroblasts. You could fire off 2 pyroblasts. You know, you have a hot streak while you're casting, and then you can fire off your pyro, and that you're hard casting, and then you could fire off your hot streak pyro, and then they would hit at the similar time, and it would generate a hot streak. But the flame patch, it doesn't really seem to do that anymore, which is something to keep in mind. I think Fire's damage was around 240k, I believe, prior to stopping this. I'm also pretty distracted right now, so it's doing less. But if you look at the breakdown, Incendiary Eruptions on 5 targets is 8% of your damage. So I feel like if you're in M+, you wouldn't really want to give it up. And it kind of sucks for me because, like, I can't click on this, right, for whatever reason not working, to see how many casts of Phoenix Flames. But this talent seems to refund so many. Like, it seems to refund so many Phoenix Flames charges. It like, I don't want to play without it. It just feels really, really nice. To be honest. It feels really, really nice. And again, just ignore this on this side. I'm probably never going to play Ice Cold in M+. I feel like block and being able to get rid of, let's just say, dots or bleeds or any kind of debuff is just so nice. So, so nice. Let's just say that. So, probably not going to run Ice Ward either. Maybe run this stuff. Maybe run this in Frost in a dungeon where you can freeze a lot of things. But for me, right now, I'm not super sold on this side of the tree. But yeah, like, your single target feels terrible as Fire like this, in my opinion. The damage also seems to be quite low, but I mean, that's kind of as expected. You don't have controlled destruction, you're not running Firestarter, you've got 3 AoE talents that obviously you're not using at all for single target. Yeah, but Fire seems to do somewhere around 250k for me. Obviously this is completely unbuffed on single target. I mean on AoE, so this is completely unbuffed. Like, I've literally just got AI, I'm not running flash, not running anything, so like damage is definitely going to be lower now than it is on live, but I just wanted to give like a kind of idea, at least how it is for me, and you know, maybe it helped like clarify some things up for anyone else that had these queries. And yeah, I will show a bit of Frost as well. So Frost, as you'll see, I've opted for more of like a middle ground build. I'm not 100% sure what is best. Like, I don't know, as I assume most people watching this video wouldn't know. I'm also not sure if Ebon Bolt is actually staying or not, because they got rid of it out of the tree, and whether it's baseline, but that's... I mean, that's another thing entirely. But yeah, so essentially... this is the build I'm running. I feel like Colder Snap is good. How it actually sims is another question. In the Mage Discord I was reading this, that this talent is quite good, Splintering Ray. But obviously it's a channeled spell, so you'd probably have to play Ice Flows. For me it's just preference. Like, I just feel like, well, at least right now and my own testing, that Colder Snap is just nice to play with, and I think in packs itself it will be quite strong, especially the bigger packs. Being able to get out like 2 Comet Storms and 2 Frozen Orbs like straight off the bat, and then your was it Ice Caller is going to reduce your Frozen Orbs so much, and just having that out from the get-go, I mean, I feel is just going to be good. Whereas this is like capped at 5 targets, right? So as soon as you start fighting more than 5 targets, this talent kind of drops off. Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm not running it. And Chain Reaction, I would like Chain Reaction, but you have to give up Frozen Touch, I believe. Oh, I can't give up Frozen Touch, so there you go. But I don't think Chain Reaction is going to do more than a 6% damage buff. So you're kind of like really locked in on this tree. At least I feel like you are. As far as Sub-Zero is concerned and Frostbite, you could obviously run that instead of Splintering Cold, but generally the mobs you're freezing, at least this is my opinion, they're not really very priority mob targets, and it just doesn't matter like how fast they die. I mean, a good example is like the very small lashes in Brackenhide. Like, generally in your group, those mobs will just melt. So speccing into this and this is obviously going to increase your damage to those smallies massively, but your damage to the main target, the tree, is going like the big, I think it's like Withered Oak, goes down a lot, and I don't know if that's actually going to be worth it in timing higher end keys. Like, I mean, it looks nice for your overall, but whether it's practical and gets played, I'm not sure. Also, Slick Ice got buffed on the PTR, so maybe you'd even want that if you wanted more single target, but I don't know how to get it on this tree. Like, I feel like you'd be trading too much. So yeah, this is basically what I'm playing, and I'll just give an example of gameplay. So the way I do it is I just go Icy Veins into Frozen Orb, into Ice Caller, and then into Comet Storm, and then you want to shatter your Cone of Cold back into Orb, and then spend some of these. My Freezing Rain proc also, and I've just kind of been using this on cooldown. Like, I just kind of use the rest of it on cooldown. It feels like it's the way to go, and then obviously trying to shatter your spells, like your Glacial Spikes with a flurry or something, but it's a little bit of the icing on the cake, I guess. So this one will shatter, and then just try and keep maximum uptime, at least for me, on your frozen orb and things like that. So I've frozen orb, my Nicole's back up. Just kind of just go through like that. I think Frost can be really good in dungeons like Brackenhide because your target swapping is pretty good. As Frost, much better than it would be as Fire at least, especially with kind of the nerfs to single target. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely waiting for a bit more clarity myself, and I mean, I think this video is getting a bit long now, to be honest, and I'm just kind of showing like basic gameplay stuff. But I mean, looking at that, it was around 240k, 250k. From my own tests at least, Fire and Frost seem to be pretty similar. I think at a certain target count, Fire will do more damage just because of that Incendiary Eruptions talent, and then the amount of Phoenix Flames you're going to be getting from Phoenix Reborn talents kind of seems insane, and then obviously the amount of refunds you get from your Fire Blast. But I mean, right now I think Arcane's looking really good. Really, really good. But that being said, I actually think all the Mage specs are looking decent. To be honest, I definitely don't mind all the reworks. And I kind of remain hopeful. This is all being off the top of my head, this whole video. I've kind of done it in one take. If there's anything else you would like to see, maybe like the single target stuff, potentially if people want to see that, I make a video like that showing my best guess at the at the single target's rotations while it kind of waits to all get figured out, because I'm not sure how quickly guides will get released going into next patch. Hopefully before, for my own sake as well, because I love doing Mythic Plus, and I would like to, you know, have a good idea of what I'm how I'm meant to be playing from the get-go, but this is kind of like how it all reads to me. And kind of my best guess on how to play it. But yeah, if you've watched the video this long, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next time.